Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are here back out at the oil field. We are looking to turn around and take our first load of oil out to the refinery. So we'll get a chance to take a look at the rail. Now that that's finished, obviously we don't have like bypasses and Ys and any of that stuff put in yet. But for all intents and purposes, the rough end of the layout is finished now. And then we also do get a chance to take our first loaded run with the new Lima Loco, which we will turn around and take a look at that quick. Just picked it up, drove it up here, hooked it up to the load. It is going to be on its first run, so can't really say how it pulls or what it does. I don't really have any idea. I know, on its own, it looks good on paper. And it looks good as far as the model goes. The beer keg smokestack, small, light, and the green color were kind of the options that were picked for this one. Also did turn around and throw a caboose on the back there, just for being out here in the oil field. So we did push out a ton of loads, which that worked well. Most of the layout's been working pretty well. Definitely a little more running around on this one as of now, because we still haven't put in, like I said, a lot of bypasses or Ys or anything else. Just kind of the rough end. Everything is attached. Definitely probably a few more convenient ways, I guess, to get around in the long run will probably be the thing there. Alright. Hear this one chugging a life. Doing a nice hit on the whistle there as we're heading out of town, or out of the industry, if you will. We have turned around and put in a few signs, nothing major, but starting to get some things settled in on the rail. We're going to pick up speed. This thing is supposed to be the strongest thing in the game, and right up there for speed too. So 4%. Going to put it to some work right away. We'll see how well that does. A 19,000 pounds of tractive effort, you'd think wouldn't have too much of a problem with this kind of load. Does seem to be pulling it out pretty well. That tree probably is gonna have to go. Oh, as soon as I say that, look at that. It's totally bogging down. I think if we can get up past this, we definitely have a flat coming up here. Wow, it's not gonna do more than 4 cars up 4%. Maybe, I mean, we definitely could have hit it faster. But definitely not the end-all be-all for pulling up weight, maybe, this locomotive. I think the original plan is kind of to stick a climax down here and just let climaxes pull things up the hill, out of here, up to the ironworks, and then from there, it's downhill to the flatland. And I think that's going to probably be the thing to stick with. And then this loco will be freed up to do other things. Pulling oil might not be its forte on this layout. I mean, definitely could lower the grade here, but, I don't know. I like having at least some of the higher grade, and to me, at least 4%. This narrow gauge, after all. There we go. So we will definitely have to be putting in some more storage and sidings up here at the ironworks for staging trains, because it does look like we'll be staging oil trains up here as well. 4 cars. I'd rather turn around and pull up chunks of 4, even if it's with a climax. We'll pull them up in 4s and then turn around and hook up to a different loco and take it for the long haul. That shouldn't be too difficult to get into the layout somewhere. Plenty of room up here on the flat. You know, now it's time to adjust things, make things a little smoother, run a little better, a little more efficient. That's generally how I like to do a layout. The roughing is here, or the not ugly version of the roughing is here. Some things we could definitely smooth out. This run we could smooth out. This one I think we could take down a little grade. We could take down a little bit of grade on the way up to the coal mine. These are all things and options that were kind of built in. There's definitely different runs on here and shortcuts and other things like that that we can put in along the way. No, I've been asked for the save file a bunch of times, so I kind of tried to hurry through it, you know, as much as I could to kind of get around to that or accommodate that. And then I'll just tune it later as I go. I also want to get around to looking at the new stock save file, so the placed industries, or the already there map, I haven't really got a chance to look at that. Should probably slow this train down a little bit. Don't need to be derailing oil cars. So it's going to handle the tight turns. I think that's about the tightest turn we got on the whole track. So generally speaking, if it handles that, it goes. This thing does not seem to have like an overabundance of low-end power. Like, it's not instantaneous takeoff like the 48 or something. That's for sure. At least his arm's righteously out the window on this one. That's kind of cool. No hand sticking in the wall. That looks legit. Dig that. Alright. Let's bring this down. This all or nothing brake thing is kind of getting a little disappointing. Gotta be honest, really looking forward to that getting fixed, because I don't think it makes any difference other than locking up the wheels. I don't know. This is the only one loco. I don't know if it actually has progressive brakes on it or not. Nothing else definitely does. See if we can get off the brake and pick up the speed a little bit. Don't want to honestly get going too fast though, because there's no great way to slow stuff down through here. Brakes are not overly crazy good on this loco, but that's probably because it's got like manual brakes. I don't think there's any kind of anything going there. Sounds cool. Oh, why it does it only when you shut it off. That's cool though. Alright, let's get on it. And as we're chuffing up the hill, throw some more coal in here. Make sure we don't run out. This firebox doesn't seem to hold a ton of coal. That's for sure. It's not like very many scoops that fill this thing up. Bang. And I'm sure this thing holds an absolute boatload. It seems to hold a ton of water. I don't know. It's got to be one of the bigger boxes. And maybe this thing is just not a speed demon. I guess. I don't know. I haven't run it enough to make a judgment, you know. We'll have to see how something a little more known to us compares pulling something like this up, because maybe other stuff can pull it up. This load might just be super heavy for this track. I don't know. Not that I'm disappointed. At least 4 oil cars isn't bad, and if you have to stage those, the run's not too bad to do that with, so I don't mind either way. Good excuse to have a climax out there at the oil field to help. It's definitely not. Oh, you got the brakes totally on. That's part of the problem. There you go. Running downhill with the brakes on. Now it's gonna go like nuts. All right, there you go. So there you go. Whew. I was gonna say, man, if it's. Oh, now we're gonna fall off. I was gonna say, if it's that slow coming up this hill all the time, that's gonna be a bit of a disappointment. I wasn't that prepared. It's only 4 cars. Now it's scooting. Of course, most of this now is gonna be downhill again. Slightly. It's pretty flat. Just got that one kind of sharp edge on that one hill that you gotta watch because it whoops back. So there's a bit of that one. You could derail. That's a bummer. Some of the cool looks in the map though. There are some great views in this map. I gotta give them credit. Definitely different than our old map, which winter. Nice to have some variation. This thing's still only doing like 18. That's not that fast. I mean, we've been flying with the Ruby Basin down here. Open it up and see what it runs at. Oh, it's supposed to run at 29. Yeah, right there. .20 mph, 29 mph top speed. It is scooting along pretty good. Alright. Slow this puppy down a little bit so we don't go, well, not that far. Just don't know. Never been going this fast, really. So that's all new. Definitely feels like a much bigger locomotive, so that's cool. I like that. These things are pretty obscure and hard to find any real information about these locomotives, at least from what I found, so. It's kind of cool. Built by the same people that built the Shays. So it's kind of neat. It is a cool logo. I don't know that it's my favorite logo in the game, but it's cool. It's way up there. That boiler is crazy raised. One more tight turn, and then we are pretty much rolling on a free trajectory down here. This will be more brakes than anything as soon as we get across this flat. Once you start the hand rail, you know you need hand brakes. That's for sure. One of those kind of things. Nice thing now we got the speedometer, so you can just kind of watch the speed. Used to be you just kind of had to guess at how fast you were going before you needed to worry about slowing down. More about the sound of the loco than it was anything else. That should generally bring us down at a nice controlled speed where we aren't going to go train wrecking. Hit the whistle, taking the views. We will be headed over to that peak off in the distance, the Chimney Rock. Well, it'll make a difference. Any more brake we give it, or don't give it. Once we get through our crazy turn here, our Georgetown loop, sorta. But it's all grounded, so it's right there. I do think we could stretch this one out and take it further back this way and lower the grade a little bit. Not sure if I'm going to do that or not anytime soon, but it is there to look at. So I do think this could be less steep right here, the transition. And you could probably pull a little more up this. This hill is kind of limiting with so many industries on the other side of it, but then it's a good challenge too. Kind of separates this part of the game for the layout, which is kind of nice. And that was kind of the idea. Wanted to have some progression in the difficulty as you got further into the game, having to have some bigger locos if you're going to pull heavy loads and stuff like that. Also, definitely didn't want, 40 and 60 car trains were not the goal for this layout. So things are a little steeper. And then now this gets nice and shallow as we run by the lake. So we can hit it through here. You have one turn at the end of the straight that's not exactly like high speed, so don't want to go too nuts. If you on the track, this is the time to move. Alright, then we can get off the brake and let it roll out. couple more turns, a turnaround, and then we are headed out on the new rail. You can kind of see the start of the new rail over there on the other side of the water. It runs along the shore on the far side. So we will have to get over there. You see we have a bunch of cars parked over there. There's like another Loco, Montezuma I think is parked over there right now. As I said, that's why we're kind of putting in storage so that we can stop just having Locos laying all over the joint. Just haven't gotten a chance to get everything out to all that storage yet, running so many loads. By the sawmill, hit the junction, we will have to go do a flip around at the logging camp. Have not put a Y in here yet. Probably will work out some kind of Y that lets us just turn off in that direction, but haven't just yet. So that leads us to turn around over at the sawmill. Definitely the longest run on the rail. This one. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're gonna overshoot it. How fast does this thing come to a stop? About 3 cars. That's not horrible, I guess. Figures one switch. And I suppose we could just back it all the way down to the refinery right here. But that's not a good fun first trip out there, so we'll go ahead and spin it around. Go. And since we're already going slow speed, might as well stop that. Come back this way and we'll flip this, so on our return trip we are just good to go. There we go. Alright, now we're pretty much on cruise control here for a minute. Should get us going. There we go. Background of this thing seems to move along pretty good. Does look good with the oil tankers though. I like that. Alright, let's go. Go. Definitely operates a little different than the other loco that I'm used to running, the Ruby Basin. This one definitely behaves a little different. Alright, here we go. We're running through the loop. This is the Swifty loop. A little rocky, rolly. It's definitely getting through there. Plenty of room to widen this one out. But it works. Alright. I hate pulling a like super top speed through switches. Never trust them. Alright, let's hit it. There we go. Yeah, so I mean, once we get it past the ironworks, we'll be able to double the size of the train. For sure. Screaming along. That is top speed, 29 miles an hour. We used to turn around and derail like crazy anywhere near this speed, so that's something. Definitely lets us cover a little more ground. High speed railing it. Hopefully we clear the trees. This is the first time anything's been down this line, so this is a test completely. Gotta actually pay attention to the rail here now as we hit the red bridge. Let you know you're on your way to the refinery. And now we'll just kind of have to chill this a little bit because I really have no idea how well some of this is going to work. Some of it could be fairly tight. I handled that okay. I don't think anything's much sharper than that, so as long as everything comes around the corner there. Did just turn around and run the shoreline for most of it. Short bridge work. Long red bridge in here. Get a chance, one of my favorite bridges in the game. Barely ever use it, so I did turn around and go with a little long red bridge on this side, and then we changed things up after the turn, which we'll just kind of see how the turn goes. Again, nice and smooth, sweet, so that's high speed. And then we get into the bridge here, which there we go. Looks like those two end ones, I think I messed up in their gray, so those will have to get swapped out for the green. So we did turn around and do the span bridges in here, obviously with the nice wall chunks in between, to finish that out. So there we go. A little bit of a curve in there. Just kind of for fun along the lake. There is the chimney rock. We get over to. If this one works, I'm going to be pretty happy with this run actually on the way out here. There's a little bit of hill in here, so it's not totally flat. Make sure we got all the trees out of the way. Did have to take down probably more trees back here than anywhere else. Get a cool view. And then depending on, I don't know if we'll catch it. Yeah, there it is. There is the waterfall off in the distance. You can just make it out back there. Alright, and then this, of course, we're going to start picking up way too much speed. Alright. See if we can bring this one to a halt up here. First drop offs. That's pretty good. Getting close to that big money payoff. Alright, there we go. Let's make sure we get paid for these. Okay, that one's getting. That one's good. That was good. Alright, there we go. Start watching the money pile up. I have to pull it forward for one more. Hey, there's a stair right there. That could be a little easier to get up on. That's my biggest complaint about the locomotive so far. And I guess I would have anticipated a little more power for 19,000 pounds of tractive effort, but then, you know, who knows? Could be wheel arrangement and everything else that gets us what we got. Be interesting to compare it against something that we know. Alright, there we go. Actually bringing in some oil. A lot of them are paying, they're dropping double when you drop off the loads, but there you go. Back to a little bit of money. Turn around and take a quick look at the rest of the industry layout over here. We did just go with a nice loop around the outside. The oil barrels are going to be a back end, so you're just going to run around the loop and then back it in. You got plenty of room to back in a train here. Be able to leave it parked, whatever. Turn around and get that out here, but the rest of it did kind of just go in. Try to work around the trees. And so that's kind of where we're at. But there we go. First oil out to the refinery. And I think with that one, we're going to turn around and say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.